You're listening to Legends and Shadows, where folklore and ghost stories are brought to life. I'm Vicky Joe, a voice actor and narrator, and together we wander through eerie myths, haunted places, and the tales that linger in the dark corners of our history. Tonight we step into Bellever Forest on Dartmoor, a place of quiet streams, ancient stones, and a darkness that moves differently when the sun goes down. For centuries, people have told stories of walkers led astray here, caught in loops, drawn deeper, unable to escape the silence of the trees. This is the tale of the Pixie-Led of Bellever Forest. Bellever Forest has a particular stillness to it. A hush that settles over the pine needles like a blanket, soft enough to feel comforting in daylight, but strangely weighted once dusk begins to gather. It's a beautiful place, a place where sunlight filters through tall, straight trunks and golden shafts, and where a small waterfall murmurs through mossy stones before spilling into a clear, cold stream. But Bellever has another side. One that's whispered in Devon folklore for centuries. Dartmoor folk once believed that the deeper forests belonged not to people, but to others, pixies. Not the playful sprites of children's stories, but old spirits of the land, unpredictable and territorial. They were said to mislead travellers, confuse paths, and draw the unwary off the safe routes into the moor's darker places. To be pixie-led was a real and feared condition, a kind of enchantment of disorientation. And Bellever, according to many, is a place where this enchantment still lingers. The stories often begin the same way. A person walking alone, usually near dusk, when the forest begins to dim but isn't yet dark. The path narrows, the air thickens, and something, a sound, a flicker, a feeling, seems to pull them from their route. Some make it out quickly, some don't. One story, repeated again and again in slight variations, tells of a man from Postbridge who knew Bellever's paths like the lines of his own hand. He walked them weekly for firewood. He'd never once gotten lost. But one autumn evening, the light faded faster than he expected. Fog began to gather, and the forest he had known all his life, began to feel unfamiliar. He later said he felt as though his feet were moving without his full permission. He kept walking, though the path no longer looked right. He saw a glimmer of pale light weaving through the trees, low to the ground, drifting like a lantern held by an unseen hand. Yet it didn't illuminate the forest around it. It merely floated there, flickering gently. Sometimes it paused, as though waiting for him. Sometimes it darted ahead, and he followed it. He didn't remember choosing to, only that the light felt like the only thing still meaningful in the shapeless gloom. He walked until his legs ached, until his breath steamed in the chill air, until the world became a looping pattern of tree trunks and shadow. When at last he stumbled back onto a familiar path, he was shaking. He couldn't explain what had happened. But he remembered one thing clearly. The moment the forest fell silent, birdsong stopped, wind stilled. The stream he knew was nearby made no sound at all. He whispered later, as if ashamed of the fear in his voice. It wanted me to walk deeper. That line has been repeated so often in different accounts that it's become almost ritual, not tied to a single witness, but spoken like a truth that anyone who's felt Bellever's hush instinctively understands. It's always the silence that people mention first. Bellever Forest has its own music, the soft rush of wind through pine needles, the distant splash of the waterfall, the low whisper of streams winding between roots. But when someone is Pixie-Led, these sounds stop. It's not that the forest becomes quiet, it becomes mute, a heavy, expectant mute, as though the air is waiting for something or someone to make the next move. Walkers who return from such moments say that time felt strange, thick, slow, syrup-like. Their breathing sounded too loud in their ears. Their footsteps landed too softly, as if the ground were absorbing the sound. And then there's the loop. A distinctive part of Pixie-Led folklore is walking in circles, finding the same stump, the same stone, the same patch of fern again and again, even when you swear you've been heading in a straight line. Bellever seems particularly good at this. One woman described walking for 20 minutes, only to find herself standing once more beside the small waterfall she had passed at the start. Confused, she tried again, choosing a different direction, following the curve of the stream, keeping the sound of the water behind her. But 10 minutes later, she was back. Same rock, same moss, same glint of fading daylight on the water. She left the forest quickly after that. Another man swore he followed the sound of running water for a full half hour, hoping to reach the river. But no matter how long he walked, the sound never grew louder. He said it felt as though the water was receding before him, leading him away. The water at Bellever is a place that feels safe. Moving water in folklore often breaks enchantment. It is sound direction, purification. And yet some stories say the waterfall is where the pixie leading begins. Walkers describe pausing there at dusk, lulled by the softness of the falling water, only to realize suddenly that the forest has grown too dim, the path unclear. If they turn to leave, a shape moves at the corner of their vision. Not a person, not an animal, just a darker patch of shadow that seems to shift between one tree and the next. Some look back at the waterfall and swear it sounds quieter than before. Others say the sound stops altogether. The pines of Bellever are tall and straight, planted in ordered ranks that should make the forest simple to navigate. But at twilight, those trunks merge into one another, creating long, narrowing corridors of shadow. People often feel watched here, not threatened. Watched, as if many unseen eyes were observing them from behind the trees, curious, waiting to see what they'd do next. Some say they feel a hand brushed their sleeve, though no one is near. Others report footsteps that mimic their own pace, but stop an instant after they stop. One hiker said she saw something crouched between the trees, small, pale, and utterly still, just before the forest around her went silent. She blinked, and it was gone. Old Devon folk had several cures for being pixie-led. Turning your coat inside out, carrying a piece of iron, saying a prayer, eating a crust of bread, or just looking down at your feet. But the most frequent advice was simple: do not follow the light. Yet in stories from Bellever, most people who see it do. Not out of curiosity, but because it feels strangely necessary. Comforting, even. A reassurance in a forest where everything else is fading into shadow. This is where the danger lies. The forest doesn't frighten you. It invites you. Even now, Bellever has its moments. Campers report waking at night to hear Light, quick footsteps circling tents, whispers that might be wind, a soft ringing like distant bells. Some hikers claim their torches dim unexpectedly. Others say their GPS or phones lose all sense of direction near the deeper parts of the forest. A few simply describe the sense of being pulled off the path, though they never see the light itself. Bellever Forest is stunning in daylight. Peaceful, ancient, alive with the whisper of history. Walk the paths, admire the waterfall, wonder the Bronze Age settlements, and breathe in the quiet. But if you go near dusk, be mindful of the forest's other face. Watch the trees. Listen for that shift in the air. Pay attention if the birds stop singing, and if you see a light weaving between the trunks just ahead of you, do not follow. Because some paths on Dartmoor lead you safely home, and others lead you in circles until the forest has what it wants. That was tonight's tale. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more legends, ghosts, and eerie folklore from Devon and beyond, follow the podcast and join me here on YouTube. This is Legends and Shadows. Until next time, keep your lantern close and beware the shadows.